Hello and welcome to One Lap. As we do with every car, we are putting around this 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime plug-in hybrid for one lap of our track. This one is the second fastest Toyota in the lineup, just behind the Supra. It has over 300 horsepower. Let's see how it does. This is the new RAV4 Prime. It is a plug-in hybrid electric vehicle. It has a 15 kilowatt hour usable battery pack, about 18 kilowatt hour gross. It can run all electric and it can run all gas, or it can run combined. That's the benefit of a plug-in hybrid. This car is front wheel drive, driven by the internal combustion engine and a little electric generator. The rear axle is electrically powered only. So will we see a little bit of power on oversteer, or is it going to be an understeer machine? I'm not quite sure. We'll find out. It's a wet day. Don't expect any stellar lap times, but it's going to give us a great idea on the chassis dynamics of this car. Super interesting. Toyota makes this in 3 configurations. You can get a RAV4 that's internal combustion only. You can get a hybrid, and then this top of the line Prime as the plug-in hybrid option. So let's get it out on the track, line it up, and see how it does for one lap. And you join me now at the start line in the 2021 Toyota RAV4 Prime, the plug-in hybrid. There is so much going on here. First thing I notice, our high voltage battery is about 90% state of charge. I am going to turn off traction control by pushing and holding this switch. Traction control off. Now VSC turned off. So everything is off. That's good. Now I want to dial up sport mode, which is good. I also want to put it in not in EV mode, but HV mode, which is hybrid vehicle mode. Other than that, there's not many settings that I think we really need to adjust, aside from just moving things around the cabin so they don't fall. But this seems like a pretty cool car. First off, sitting in here feels really nice, quite premium actually. I really like the steering wheel material. Let's go drive. I'm gonna lock it in S1. It will auto upshift. It's a CVT, so it simulates the gears, but I'm sure similar to other Toyota products at wide open power, it just holds it right at the limiter. So that's at least how the Lexus products work and the other Toyotas we've driven. We'll see if this one's much the same. I'm sure it is, but I will use it to help us downshift to keep the engine on boil. So it's 170 something horsepower on the front, the rest of the bit about 150 horsepower on the rear, 300 plus horsepower total. I'm expecting a lot here, and keep in mind, if we get any sort of rotation on power, that's all because of that electric assist on the back. So let's brake boost it, foot hard on the left brake, flooring it, and in 3, 2, 1, go. All right, so traction control kicking into stop wheel spin. You can feel it, bop, 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 bop. And so it's rocketing off. Wow, this thing pulls hard. Serious acceleration. That's great. 92 miles an hour onto the brakes. This is genuinely the first time I have driven the RAV4. So we're right at the limit of grip, but it feels nice. Definitely moving around. Not much communication, but again, this surface is a little slippery. The impressive part here is the acceleration. I was not expecting that. It's not Tesla fast, but it's fast enough to impress your friends. And it's really got a nice shove. Look, let's just lift off a little bit here. Yeah, really good balance. This thing turns pretty well. Definitely a little bit of body roll. I wish the track was dry today. We could see this set a pretty good time. Wow, really good steering. I am super impressed. Again, I haven't driven this car at all until I just took it out right now. And the impressive part, really, that acceleration that was a strong shove, and it never stopped going. That was pretty good. A couple things flying around the cabin. I can watch here on my screen what's doing everything. Electric motor. I'm trying to be consistent. Big power on the way out. Okay, so that was a lot of front end push because of the wheel spin up there. Could really use a mechanical locking diff of some kind. Of course, it's not ever going to go on a RAV4. Every time you just give it too much beans on the front axle, it just loves to wash out. So here we go, back to full power, and it almost goes straight because it just roasts the tires. Wide open. It's almost just like it goes, it's so much wheel spin, it just goes straight. Shoving it in here, a little bit of lift off oversteer, really nice to see it. Oh yeah, that feels pretty good. And full brakes. ABS is a little bit harsh, not loving that ABS calibration. That's just a Toyota thing. They've always gotten weird calibration with on-limit braking. Wide open, wheel spin, here we go. Thing's rocketing. I mean, it's not slow. Look at this, it's still pulling 80 miles an hour, 90 miles an hour, it's still doing it. 100 miles an hour, 101. Very nicely done, Toyota. Wow, and we'll use the shifter. It's already in S3 right now, which is great. So we're getting engine braking. We're charging up the high voltage battery. I gotta say, this thing is, well, it's not a performance car by any means. Don't confuse with what I'm saying that this is actually a great performer. It's just, you're in a small SUV, CUV type thing, and it rockets around just fine. It also sounds pretty good, and it doesn't feel very Prius-y. It feels substantial. I mean, this is the first Toyota branded product, not a Lexus, Toyota branded product that feels substantial while driving. It's heavy, of course, that's partially why, but they've really done a great job with the acceleration on this car, the steering, the NVH, and the overall balance. It's tuned obviously for safety and comfort at understeers, but off power you can chuck it in and get that rear axle to move. This was probably the most fun I've ever had in a RAV4, and I really actually am like genuinely impressed. Nice work, Toyota. And now let's take a look back and reveal the lap time. The RAV4 Prime launches really hard, gets off the line with a lot of fury, something you would not expect from a Toyota mid-size SUV. It's pretty impressive for sure. And the handling is impressive as well. The overall cornering ability is really nice. The car handles quite well, and it feels very controlled and balanced. Very nice performance there. You, of course, want to know the lap time, and in the wet, we don't have many vehicles to compare to in the wet, but we do have some, and you can take a look at that in the description. There is a link that will bring you to our lap time board. And the RAV4 Prime managed a 2-minute and 8-second lap around our track. I wish we had it for a dry day, but the RAV4 Prime is an impressive car, a seriously impressive car, and one that you should be considering if you're looking at any small crossover.